And, nature really teaches us that these cycles are very necessary. Spring only feels so vibrant because winter created the space for it to feel that way. Without that period of rest and rejuvenation, there wouldn't be enough energy to bloom again. Welcome to A Life Differently, a space for deep, real, and also fun conversations about life beyond the status quo. I'm Ronni Hill, a mindset and manifestation life coach, and I know what it's like to feel like you're not doing life the quote-unquote right way. But what if there is no right way? What if the life you actually want is possible? If you're willing to question what you've been told. That's what this podcast is about. Breaking free from expectations, trusting yourself, and creating a life that's yours. Together, we'll explore how to unlearn limitations, tap into our power, and create a life that actually feels good, not just one that looks good on paper. If you've ever felt like you were meant for more but didn't know where to start, you're not alone. Let's figure it out together. Y'all, it is springtime. The weather is warming up, the sun is out, the flowers are blooming. Oh my gosh, the days are getting longer and it's beautiful. I don't know where you are, but here in South Carolina, it's already 80 degrees. Y'all, it's already hot. And I'm already wearing my shorts. I mean, there really is just something about spring that really is just this nice, soft awakening. After months of shorter days and colder nights, you could just really feel life stirring again. And there's just this refreshing energy to that. I mean, when you step outside and you see a clear sky and you hear birds chirping and you notice the beautiful colors of spring flowers, it really feels like the world is coming back to life. Maybe you've gotten to feel it too, that pull to start moving again, to really open up and start refreshing those winter bones. But in a world that tells us to push forward year round, how do we really honor this natural shift? How do we reflect this similar energetic cycle in ourselves without slipping right back into hustle mode? That's really what I want to explore today. Like, how can we align with the energy of the seasons, but really the energy of spring in a way that feels natural to us and not forced? The spring is nature's nice reminder that growth doesn't have to be forced. After this stillness, this wonderful stillness of winter, spring comes in with this gentle but truly undeniable push towards movement and creation and blossoming. Our trees are budding, our flowers blooming. There's a natural progression, one that's been guiding life on earth for years and years and years. But we live in a society that is really out of sync with that rhythm. And we're taught that success comes from constant action. Productivity is king, and we have to keep moving and keep moving and keep moving. Even in winter, when nature slows down, we're expected to keep grinding as if nothing's changed, and by the time spring comes around, instead of feeling refreshed and renewed like the trees that are blossoming, a lot of us are just exhausted, right? Even by this time of the year, New Year's resolutions have fallen away. Some of our goals for this new year have disappeared. And, nature really teaches us that these cycles are very necessary. Spring only feels so vibrant because winter created the space for it to feel that way. Without that period of rest and rejuvenation, there wouldn't be enough energy to bloom again. I wanted to talk to you about this today because I really love this topic of cycles. There's the cycles of the seasons. There are the energetic cycles that we experience as humans. There's the difference in energetic cycles between those assigned female at birth and those assigned male at birth. These are some of the things I really, really love to talk about, and that's why I wanted to bring it to you today. And I'm really feeling this shift very strongly in my life this year. So, this past winter, I actually allowed myself to slow down. I've always wanted to. I've always needed to. I actually allowed myself to rest this past winter. And I can honestly tell you that it was not by choice at first. I had to have a very unexpected and very immediate surgery in December. I'm okay. Nothing to fret over. Now I was forced to rest for literally like 2 weeks, 2 weeks minimum. And I had no choice but to stop. It was not even something I could power through and make myself move through. I had to sit my butt down and I had to lay down and I had to sleep. Y'all, I slept so much. It was nice, but it was different and it was weird. But as weird as it was and as much as I kind of hated it, it really ended up being exactly what I needed. And I can save that story for another time, but ultimately, that really kickstarted this actual acceptance and allowing myself to lean into rest. And for the rest of the winter, I allowed myself to rest. I allowed myself to sleep more, to move less, to stop pushing so hard. And it truly made a difference. Like my body just needed it. It needed so much rest. It needed so much time to recharge and heal and just process. And I'm still doing so now. But now that we're transitioning in spring, I can feel the shift and I can feel it and honor it in such a different way than I have before. And probably in such a different way than if I hadn't have rested like I did. My energy is actually coming back. I'm gaining more mental clarity, which is amazing because brain fog is truly a thing. I feel so much more creative and inspired, motivated. I'm more open to possibility. I mean, the stillness of winter really created this strong foundation for this growth and expansion that I'm feeling right now. That's just one example of how this natural cycle works, this natural cycle of rest and renewal and growth. And when you can align yourself with that rhythm, life can start to feel so much easier. And that's something I'm really excited to hopefully share with you in today's episode, allowing life to feel easier, allowing yourself to flow instead of forcing. And honestly, that's also a teaser for next week's episode. So, next week, I'm bringing you an interview with a dear colleague of mine, Jameer Hart, and it's going to be all about human design. And Jameer is so wonderful in general, just so wonderful. He is also very knowledgeable in human design and he gives so much information to get you started in human design. And one of the things that human design has allowed me to do is to stop forcing myself to live and move a certain way and to actually honor how I really best operate and to start flowing with that. So that's kinda on my mind, which is kinda why I threw that line in there, so stay tuned for that next week. But coming back, this shift from winter to spring, it's not something that we just feel individually, it's not something we just feel personally. It's something that cultures, societies around the world have honored for centuries. One of the most beautiful examples that I've learned of is Nowruz. It is the Iranian New Year, which marks the arrival of spring as the true beginning of the year. In our Western culture, we celebrate the New Year at the start of January, and it's right in the dead of winter. It's a fun and very exciting time, but also it's kind of difficult to me, to say the least, to be extremely excited about this new year when it's still freezing cold outside and it's still snowing, right? And then we kind of just go right back into that cold weather. But Nowruz celebrates the start of spring as a time for renewal and cleansing and new beginnings. I learned about this beautiful tradition from Sharon Eskandani, who hosts Wholehearted Coaching, the podcast. Every year, she does a tradition of releasing an episode on the spring equinox. And it's so insightful and it's so inspiring and so refreshing. It actually is just like a nice blooming episode in and of itself. And I'll link it in the show notes for you so you can check it out and learn more from someone who actually celebrates this tradition. Sharon is actually Iranian, so I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I know all about this tradition. I do not. Learn about it from someone of the culture. And, Nowruz is just one example. There's Holi, which in India and Nepal, it celebrates the arrival of spring with vibrant colors and a triumph of good over evil. There is Passover in the Jewish tradition, which isn't necessarily directly connected to the spring equinox, but is celebrated around this time, and it reflects these themes of renewal and liberation. The Christian religion celebrates Easter, which is all about the resurrection of Jesus and the promise of new life. In Hawaiian culture, I've read that there is, I'm going to do my best to pronounce this. Y'all, I do not speak Hawaiian. I am Samoan, and I have kind of an understanding of the pronunciation of the Samoan language, but it is not the same as Hawaiian, okay? Let me just go ahead and say that because that's one of my pet peeves. I'm going to rant about it a little bit. Hawaiian and Samoan languages are not the same, they are different. They are different cultures. End of rant. But there is a Hawaiian, in Hawaiian culture, there is Ke Alaula a Kane, and it means the dawning of the path of Kane. And it marks the shift from this reflection of winter into the action and creation of spring. And there's also a pagan holiday called Ostara. I think I pronounced that right. But it's celebrated during the spring equinox, right? And it honors the awakening of the earth, the warmth of spring, the return of light, and it often symbolizes balance, renewal, and rebirth. I really am just giving you these examples to let you know, like, there's just so many cultures that celebrate this shift in seasons, and they've done so for years and years and years. This is a part of the natural cycle of life. We are wired to feel this transition because it's happening all around us. So, talking all about this shift in the seasons, I really want to bring it up because I love this idea, this concept, this practice of living according to the seasons. So, when we're talking about aligning ourselves with the energy of spring, how do we do so? How do we step into this energy of renewal? How do we really come back in and honor this spirit, this energy of wanting to step back in and take action without falling back into this hustle, hustle, hustle mode? So, I want to give you a few small, but I believe powerful ways that you can connect with this energy of spring. So, one, pausing, pausing, pausing for the small moments. Let's say on your lunch break or while walking to your car, you just stop for a second. You pause and you feel the sun on your skin and you notice the sound of the birds or you feel the breeze. Just take a moment to notice the shift in nature and allow yourself to just bask in it for just a moment. Another thing you can do is bring some of that spring indoors. Open your windows, buy some fresh flowers, light a candle with a nice spring scent. Some of the smallest shifts in our environments can create some of the nicest senses of renewal. A fun one, which I tend to do more of in the summertime, but eating seasonally. Spring is a time for fresh fruits and vegetables like berries, greens, and citrus. All of these things are naturally in season and they're full of such life giving energy. And, honestly, things that are in season just taste so much better. Now, I say I do this usually in the summer because back in my hometown, we have a fruit stand, and in summer, watermelon is in season, and I love watermelon. And the watermelon from our fruit stand at home is the best. So I eat so much watermelon. And then when it warms up outside, I just want fruits anyway. I want something refreshing, like all day. And another thing you could do is just following your energy. You know, if you feel a spark, let yourself follow it. If you feel like resting, honor that. Like, follow the cycles of your energy. It doesn't have to be, oh, it's spring, so I have to be moving and blooming all the time. No, baby, you don't. I just want you to take notice of that shift in the seasons and also allow yourself to take notice in the shifts in your own energy as it shifts, as it waxes and wanes in its own time. Let your energy guide your actions instead of forcing yourself into someone else's rhythms and expectations, right? Now that we've explored how spring invites us into renewal and growth, I want to take a moment to really settle into that energy, to really acknowledge this shift and this transition from winter into spring. So I want to invite you to join me in a short meditation to help you connect with this shift and feel the sense of awakening in your body and mind. So, I want you to maybe pause this podcast and get yourself into a comfortable, safe space where you can do a very short meditation. If you were driving or working while listening to this, save it for later. Wait till you get home. Come back and join me for this meditation. Take a moment to settle in. If you're able to and it feels comfortable for you, close your eyes. If not, just have your eyes gazing towards the ground. Let your hands rest comfortably in your lap or by your sides, whatever feels comfortable for you. I want you to take a deep breath in through your nose and slowly let it out through your mouth. We'll take another deep breath in through your nose and slowly let it out. Let's take one more deep breath in through your nose and slowly let it out. Notice how you feel in this moment. There's no need to change anything. We're just noticing. Notice the weight of your body on the surface beneath you. Notice the placement of your feet. Notice your hands wherever they are resting. Notice the feeling of air moving in and out of your body. As you breathe, I want you to gently bring your awareness to the energy, the feeling of winter, the quiet, the stillness, the sense of retreat. Think of how winter felt for you. Maybe winter was a time of rest for you. Maybe winter was a time of slowing down. Maybe winter was a time of doing more. Allow yourself to acknowledge it without judgment. We're just noticing. Now imagine the energy beginning to shift. Imagine sunlight warming your skin. Imagine the coldness of winter fading away. Imagine the green, the pink, the whites, all the colors of spring blooming all around you. Imagine the breeze blowing across your skin. Imagine the sounds of new life, birds chirping, rustling leaves. The earth is waking up all around you, and so are you. Let yourself settle into the feeling of spring energy. Feel the gentle pull to move forward. to plant new seeds, to bloom. What feels alive in you right now? What feels hopeful within you right now? What are you ready to welcome in this season? Whatever that may be, feel it growing inside of you, like a bud beginning to blossom. Trust that it's unfolding in its own perfect timing. Now take a moment to feel gratitude. Gratitude for this blossoming thing that you're bringing into fruition. Gratitude for the gift of change and growth. Gratitude for the renewal of spring, for the warmth of the sun, for the blossoming nature all around you. Gratitude for the rest of winter, for the colder months that allowed for this growth to happen. Take a moment to really bask in the warmth, the glow of this gratitude. We'll take another deep breath in and out. Another deep breath in and out. And one final deep breath in and out. When you're ready, slowly bring your awareness back to the room. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Gently open your eyes. Spring is here, and you are ready. Spring reminds us that growth doesn't have to be forced. Nature shows us that there's a time for everything. A time to rest, a time to bloom, a time to be still. Your growth is allowed to take time, to be intentional, and to be imperfect. As you move through these next few weeks, I invite you to notice the shifts, not just in the world around you, but in yourself. How does your energy feel? What is your body asking for? What is lighting you up? Maybe you want to take action. Maybe you want to start that new project. Maybe you want to rest. Maybe there's something in between. Wherever you are, it's enough. And you are enough. If this episode resonated with you, I would have really loved to hear from you. No, seriously, I really love hearing from y'all. Okay? So send me a message on Instagram at A Life Differently. Leave a review on Apple Podcasts. Y'all, this helps so much. It helps people find the show, and it lights me up so much when I read your reviews. And if you're craving more stillness and alignment, I would love for you to join me for my live virtual workshop, A Moment of Stillness. It is a guided experience designed to help you quiet your mind and reconnect with your natural flow. You can find all the details in the show notes. And thank you so much for spending time with me today. Happy spring! Thank you for joining me for today's conversation. If you found something meaningful here, I'd love for you to share it. Subscribe to the show, leave a review. It all helps the podcast. I'd love for you to share it with me as well. You can find me on Instagram at A Life Differently. And until next time, keep trusting yourself, honoring your path, and taking up space in this life because you deserve to. Of recording in spring, take a moment to settle in. Oh my God, that is disgusting. Take a moment to settle in. Okay.